Did you know that by not washing your hands, you can affect children around the world? Not washing hands affects children around the world, and one thing about good hygiene is very important to put it into practice. Hello, everybody. I'm Leon, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some proper hand techniques regarding hand washing and the importance that we need to emphasize when it concerns keeping a good hygiene, especially with the hands. I would like to thank Mrs. Porter, for allowing me to be here today to do another broadcast for you. But let's get right into the lesson here. This is a hand washing lesson, and the question that I want to ask you is, how often do you wash your hands after using the bathroom? Or if you want to get all, some people say lavatory, okay, but you know what I'm talking about. Okay, well, if you think about that, hopefully every time you go to the bathroom, no matter what it is, you wash your hands. And somehow we can sometimes get away from that. Amen. Okay? Whether you're in a rush or you're trying to do something and you can just leave out of that bathroom, it's your germs, everything should be all right, and you just go on about your way. Well, you don't need to do that. Because the reason why you don't need to do that, you need to wash your hands, that is. You need to wash your hands and not wash your hands, that is. Whenever you do not wash your hands, there's a very high chance that you're going to spread whatever germ or body fluid or whatnot that's on your hands, transfer it to somewhere else, like on the doorknob or a grocery cart. How many people, we go shopping, and I think of this sometimes. I'm not a monk, people, but I do like to practice good hygiene. There's nothing wrong with that. But the show came to mind about Monk when I said that, and I really do like that show. It's comical, it's funny. Well, anyway, I digressed. So let me get back on track. Like when you're in a grocery store, like Walmart, you see people in their carts, and they got the fruits, the vegetables, you got the oranges, the apples, you got the leafy greens, you got the, just all these different type of food goods in their cart, and then they go to the bathroom. You see the cart parked by the bathroom, and they come out of the bathroom, and the thought crosses the mind, I wonder if that person washed their hands. Or if it's an employee of these companies, that's why they stress it so much about hand washing, because it's vitally important. They go to the bathroom and, come back out, and you wonder, and they start, peddling and meddling with the fruits and setting things up real nice and pretty, and you think come to your mind, first thing that comes to your mind is, I wonder if that person's hands are clean. And just imagine all the people that come into the store on a day-to-day basis. They're touching all over the apples and the oranges, and they wash their hands. So that's why it's very important to wash your fruit and your vegetables when you get it home to prevent the spread of germs and disease. All right, I took too long on that, but I thought I might want to just start to share that because that's what came to mind to do so. How do germs get onto hands and make people sick? I'm gonna read something to you. Feces or poop from the people or animals is an important source of germs like Salmonella E. coli. Okay, E. coli means Escherichia. It's a bacteria that can get into the body system and cause a lot of issues, especially the O157 strain of E. coli. That's very, that is no joke. Do your research on these particular things that I'm talking about today, and you can read up on it. And I think the more you read, the more you can understand the importance of hand washings, because we're going to get back to the point of how we can't take it lightly as childcare providers, as healthcare providers, as no matter food, clinicians, and all these different type of people that work in restaurants, chefs. You got to wash your hands, and you can spread bacteria like Escherichia E. coli, the E. coli O157, and you don't want to do that. Salmonella, we didn't mention that, and norovirus is another bacteria These particular bacteria that I'm mentioning here cause very severe diarrhea. And with diarrhea, if it's uncontrollable, it's a lot of water loss. And actually, people can lose their lives just by not washing hands and getting affected by that particular germ that was introduced into their body system because you failed to wash your hands. All right, this is where it's headed. Being that you work in childcare and you are a food handler because the children are not going to be able to prepare their own meals, you want to ensure, as I emphasize again, that your hands are properly washed with soap, water. Alcohol isn't going to do it, people. You got to put your hands under that warm water and scrub for at least 20 seconds with that soap and get it all over your hands. And this is a particular soap here. You may have seen in an earlier broadcast done by Mrs. Porter. It's called Castile Soap. Any type of soap, as long as it's a soap that's going to get your hands clean. It doesn't necessarily have to be an antibacterial soap, and that's a whole another broadcast on, resistant strains of bacteria and how antibacterial soaps can contribute to resistance, and there are many different opinions about that. But you want to have your hand under that soap, with some soap and under that water for at least 20 seconds. Get it under your fingernails, between your fingers, and and whenever you finish that, you're taking that hand towel or whatever you're using, you're drying your hand off. I'm just giving you a quick run, and then you're taking the hand towel. How many of you do this? You take the hand towel and you turn the knob off to the faucet. If you don't, that means you just reintroduce. If you take your natural hand and touch that knob again, you just reintroduce your germs and everybody else's germs that used that particular faucet handle that day or morning or that year. You got it all on your hands, and you go back to your car, you pick up your potato chip, and you just start eating it and eating it and eating it, and wonder why you don't feel good later. Well, there's so many different things that can come, from not washing your hands. So it's very important, and using good hand hygiene practices. All right, let's move on. Washing hands prevents illness and spread of infection to others. We did touch bases on that. People who frequently touch their eyes, their nose, or mucous membranes, and it can introduce bacteria into the body. Germs from unwashed hands can get into foods or drinks while people prepare or consume them. Hepatitis A, food handlers, if you are working in the kitchen, you can spread disease by handling that food. And one of the main particular diseases is hepatitis. You can get it by unwashing hands, so it's very important. Germs from unwashed hands can be transferred to other parts like handrails, tabletops, toys. We did talk earlier about fomites, and these can relate to what a fomite is. For those who are watching or are new to the broadcast, research what a fomite is an inanimate object like a doorknob, like a cell phone, like a toy that has germs on it, like staph and Escherichia E. coli, O157, by unwashed hands that come from feces that a person can touch, and then touch those mucous membranes, the eyes, the mouth, the nose, and get sick. So that is what a fomite is. All right, now whenever you are washing hands, it's going to reduce the number of people who get sick with diarrhea. Now, I don't know if you ever had diarrhea. I'm not trying to sound crass or anything like that, but it is real. When you have something like that, it can affect your whole body. And it is no joke. So you want to, you want to wash your hands. And I got a story behind that. I went to a restaurant one day, and I ordered a particular, something off the food menu. And Lord, it tasted so good. I mean, it was right on the perfect way to make it. And this had everything on it, and just enough, more than enough actually, of food, because sometimes when you order certain places, they only give you a little bit. Well, anyway, this was jam-packed. I got my money's worth. But Lord knows that wasn't it. I came home, my stomach started feeling bad. I started feeling nauseated. And oh boy, for the next few hours at, what was it, 2:24 a.m. in the morning, me and that toilet bowl were best friends. And that's all I'm going to tell you about that. So if you're preparing food, wash your hands. Whether you're getting served by someone or you are doing it yourself, wash your hands, because you don't ever want to experience food poisoning. That's what, my experience was. Okay, all right, now let's move on toward the end. 1.8 million children under the age of 5 die. Listen to the staggering number, this figure. 1.8 million children under the age of 5 die each year because of unwashed hands. Unwashed hands. They're having to eat with dirty hands. The food preparer did not wash their hands. Their hands are dirty, and the child get it. That particular bacteria, and the bacteria that the child get is diarrhea, water loss, and children are growing. I mean, the body isn't fully grown to where they can kind of buffer, and it can be challenged for an adult. And just imagine a child getting diarrhea and it's uncontrollable, especially dysentery. It's bad. So and this is preventable just by washing the hands. Those 1.8 million children will not die each year. The amount could decrease significantly just by washing of the hands. Okay, all right. Hand washing helps battle the rise in antibiotic resistance. Now, we did touch bases on this a little bit earlier. Bacteria has a way of change. It's like a Rubik's Cube. Bacteria has a way of manifesting itself in different ways in order to do what it do. I know that's not proper English, but you get the point. You introduce, that's why doctors don't give us a lot of antibiotics, because it can affect what the immune system does naturally. And then that particular bacteria that the doctor is trying to target can Rubik's Cube to a different shape, different form, different colors, placements, for illustration, a different coating, and resist that particular antibiotic that once used to stamp it out, annihilate it, get rid of it, remove it. But now with those coatings of the bacteria, and I know that's a simple way of saying it, but it's more involved from the medical and the science standpoint, but that's just the illustration and how I'm going to say it to get the point across to you. It changes the code, and next thing you know, the same penicillin, amoxicillin, all the cillins, antibiotics is no longer effective to that particular bacteria, germ that it's trying to get rid of. So hand washing is vitally important. Make sure that you're washing your hands each and every time you go to the bathroom. No matter what it is, how large, big or small, or whatever you're doing in the bathroom, wash your hands, people. And always wash your hands when you're getting ready to eat something and you're not around, what you need to be around in order to do it thoroughly. You find that location the way you can do it thoroughly to wash your hands to prevent sickness in your body or anyone else's body. All right, that concludes today's broadcast. This has been long enough. And once again, thank you for tuning in today to this particular broadcast. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. And we want to make sure that we give you everything that you need to ensure that your daycare is a success and prosperous. All right, till next time, everybody. Bye-bye.